Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening. A man in his 50s has died in a single vehicle crash on the Huon Highway near Port Huon overnight. The tragedy comes after 2 people were killed in a horror crash on Friday, with police renewing pleas for drivers to be safe.
At 4 o'clock this morning, police were confronted with a horrific scene. A car veering off the road into an embankment where it collided with a tree, leaving little chance of survival.
On arriving at the scene, tragically, police found that a 51-year-old male driver, who was the only occupant of the vehicle, was deceased.
Too early in the investigation to understand how the crash occurred.
Things like speed, alcohol, fatigue, drugs will all be considered.
The Huon Highway north of Geeveston was closed for hours as investigators combed the scene for clues. Other vehicles travelling north and south using the area's back roads to get around. After yesterday's AFL Grand Final, it's been a busy 24 hours for authorities, attending more than 400 call-outs statewide.
There were about 20 people arrested for offences such as exceeding the prescribed alcohol limit, minor disturbances and other things.
Police continuing their plea for drivers to be safe on the road after a man and a woman in their 80s died in a crash involving a truck on Hobart's Bowen Bridge on Friday afternoon.
It's a tragic way to start the school holidays. Any death on Tasmanian roads is a tragedy, and especially following on from the double fatality that we unfortunately had on Friday.
Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
The Premiership Party is also sweeping the state's west coast. Chris Fagan is the man of the moment, with the region celebrating the boy from Queenstown's success on the big stage. They're backing in hopes the Cup will travel to the gravel, making a special trip back to his old hometown.
Yeah, the few fireworks going off last night, I heard, so there must have been some happy people out there, that's for sure. So no, it's great to see, and well, hopefully we might see the Cup down there in Queenstown. You never know.
Meanwhile, Launceston's mayor has had his own grand final brush with fame. Matthew Garwood giving superstar Katy Perry an official invite to the first Tasmanian game after she famously declared for the Devils earlier in the week. He's even given her his card so she knows where to find us. Dozens of exhausted and soggy cyclists have crossed the finish line of a gruelling 5-day tour of northern Tasmania for charity. The last of the 35 riders met with cheers as they completed the more than 500-kilometre trip, raising money for Parkinson's research.
A few big hills, a few wins, but it's just been absolutely amazing to see the determination from all the riders, and especially those that have been that do struggle from Parkinson's disease.
The group smashing its original target, raising $45,000. After years of delays, the long-awaited container refund scheme is a step closer to reality. New technology is being put to the test ahead of the rollout, which will finally see Tasmania move in line with the rest of the country.
An inside look into the machine thrifty Tasmanians have been waiting for.
It's as easy as walking up. You can use an app, or you can just get a voucher and then go and use that voucher to offset it against the cost of your groceries, or get a cash refund.
Come the middle of next year, cans can be traded in for cash, offering 10 cents back for every eligible item.
Whether it's soft drink cans or stubby bottles or flavoured milk containers, whatever it might be, each of those containers will attract a 10-cent reward.
Acting as an added incentive to protect the environment.
Generally single-use drink containers, the most littered items, and these are now being recycled as opposed to going into litter or landfill.
We're very keen to deliver a scheme here in Tasmania with high integrity, that's efficient, that delivers great environmental outcomes.
The container refund scheme hasn't been without its setbacks. The plan was originally announced 5 years ago with a target rollout date of 2022.
It has been a complex negotiation. You know, we want this to be the very best scheme it can be for Tasmania, so it has taken a little bit longer to get it up and going.
And with the delays comes some bad news for those saving up tins. A current stockpile won't be worth a cent. Instead, containers will need new barcodes to be eligible.
Don't crush your cans. We need to be able to read the barcode, so that's a really important, critical part of this.
Turning trash into treasure. Victoria Risto, 7 Tasmania News.
With just 2 weeks until opening night, the cast and band of the musical Annie have been hard at work behind the scenes, ensuring all the songs and scripts are perfect ahead of opening night. The show bringing a wide range of skills and expertise on stage.
We've got the young orphans, some of them who are on stage for the very first time, through to some young performers who are getting to do their first musical, through to some veterans of Hobart Theatre.
I'm both nervous and excited. It's really cool to be finally performing in the Theatre Royal.
Tickets are available online. A special golfing organisation is helping ensure the sport remains accessible to all players, including ones with a vision impairment. A come and try day teeing off this afternoon, encouraging participants to be active and social.
Keen golfer Neville and his neighbour Paul have a unique hobby, participating as a team in blind golf, something they didn't think would be possible after Neville lost his vision.
It feels good to come out and walk around again.
The pair just some of the players turning out to the Kingston golf course today to try the up-and-coming sport, teeing off the blind golf season. Anyone with a vision impairment encouraged to have a hit.
People to come along and have a go. And it can be for beginners, but it's also there for people who have got or develop vision loss over time.
It's all about making sport more accessible, with 70 registered blind golfers across Australia.
It's the only way we can grow any sport. We've got to have more people playing. I mean, golf is looked upon as a sport for exclusive people. It's certainly not. It's a game for all.
While it was fun and games today, there is a big event on the horizon to be training for.
In February, we're having the second Tasmanian Blind Golf Open and hosted by Kingston Beach.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
The Jack Jumpers are on the winners list after beating Melbourne United in a heated battle for the first time this season. It was a monumental game for the home side, unfurling their championship banner in front of a raucous crowd.
Before both teams hit the court, a packed MyState Bank Arena applauding as last season's victory was honoured. Then it was down to business against a growing rival.
Nugget's fired up, trying to get these fans going.
The defending champs looking for a little revenge, coming off a 9-point loss to United last week. New import Craig Sword earning his first minutes.
Sword up ahead, off balance, nice finish. His first points to the Jack Jumpers.
The Jack Jumpers heading into the third term with an 11-point margin. Star guard Milton Doyle making it look easy.
At this end of the floor, Tassie getting whatever they want.
Up for the challenge against former teammate Marcus Lee. Big man Will Magnay setting the tone at both ends, finishing with 18 points and 5 massive blocks.
Oh, Magnay! Sheer power!
There was no love lost between the sides. Anthony Drimmick exchanging heated words with the visitors with just minutes left on the clock.
He and Matthew Dellavedova have spent the last 5 minutes chasing each other around and getting right up in each other's faces, and they've both had enough.
With a 9-point win under their belts, the Jack Jumpers will now prepare to hit the road, heading to Queensland to play the Taipans on Friday. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
And finally, more than 200 runners have battled wild conditions for the inaugural WinFit Running Festival on the northwest coast. Jack Latham taking out the men's, finishing the 12-kilometre headline event in a time of 43 minutes and 11 seconds. Paige Hurd, the first woman over the line, running 55 minutes and 23 seconds.
Good evening. 19 in Hobart today, Launceston 17, 16 in Burnie, Devonport reaching 15 degrees. 23 was the state's top in Friendly Beaches, 16 across Cressy and Strawn and 22 in Flinders Island. Across the state today, a mid to high level cloud band moved over the state towards the east in the afternoon, with low level cloud covering the west. Further out, isolated thunderstorms sit over southern Northern Territory with low-level cloud over WA. Tomorrow, showers are expected about the west with light showers extending to the north during the day, fine elsewhere. West to northwesterly winds tomorrow, 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots in the southwest. Swells up to 4 metres in the west and south and up to 2 metres in the north. A strong wind warning is current for the Southwest Lakes, southeast coast and the central west coast. Tomorrow's forecast now: Hobart 18, partly cloudy across Dover and Ouse. In the north, 19 in Launceston, Devonport 17, a possible shower in Scottsdale. Burnie tomorrow, partly cloudy, showers across Strawn and Stanley. St Helens sunny and 19 degrees, 20 in Swansea and partly cloudy in Ross. Looking ahead to the 3-day forecast now: Tuesday, showers about the west extending statewide in the morning. Wednesday, fine with light winds. And Thursday, fine across the state with north to northeasterly winds. Capital cities 23 and sunny in Perth tomorrow. Melbourne 19 and showers easing in Sydney. And currently Hobart 13 and windy, Launceston 12 and mostly cloudy, and Devonport 12 and partly cloudy. And that's all in Sunday night weather, Lou.
Thank you for that, Jackie. And that's all your news for this weekend as well. Have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.